Hello guys, hi, this is Kuchi. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to get yourself together. That's the problem that most of the people have at this point of time. And there are so many people who are struggling internally, but they have no one to talk to. And they usually go into these videos like you're watching one right now to just help themselves and get out of their situation. And what really happens is that you're always watching videos and you're never taking action. So as I say in all of my videos, I hope that this is one of the last videos that you're watching and you can actually trust me and trust yourself that you can get yourself together, you can get your shit together if you want to be successful, or if you want to see how successful people usually get their shit together, then this video is for you. And if you want to learn that, this video is for you. All right, so let's get this video started. So every time you watch these kind of videos, they're like, hey, you have to add this, you have to add this, and this is what you have to do, and this is what you have to do in order to actually make something happen, right? And there are major three sectors in life that you actually have to work on. Number one is health. Number two is wealth. And number three is, of course, relationship. And if you are happy in all of these things, that's when you kind of feel fulfilled. If wealth is not working, you have a bit of health and relationship, you'd be unhappy. If wealth is good and health is good, but you have nobody to talk to, you'd be unhappy. If wealth is good and relationship is good, but you are sick all the time, you're going to be unhappy. So everything is interrelated, and it's important to really focus on all of these factors, right? Now let's talk about how you can actually get yourself together in all of these sectors, right? So in health or in wealth or in relationship. Every single time people tell you all about these sectors, like, hey, you got to add things, you got to add habits in your life, right? So for example, they'd say, hey, start doing meditation, start doing journaling, start doing this and start doing that. But what happens to our brain that every time we try to add so many new things, given that we're already paralyzed and we were not doing anything, and suddenly we watch a YouTube video and we're like, oh my God, we're going to add motivation. We're going to add yoga now. We're going to add meditation. Or we're gonna do journaling now. We're gonna take cold showers, and we're gonna take 25,000 different things in order to be successful, or in order to actually get your shit together. But what happens if you actually do it for 2 to 3 days and then you stop? Because your brain is not wired that way. Your brain gets overwhelmed, and then you again start procrastinating. And then after 1 month, you like, oh my God, oh shit, I'm again in the same situation. Let me get back together. If you don't want to keep doing that, you have to really understand a simple analogy of how we work. Okay, so for me, the number one thing was, like, when I was trying things in my life, is that rather than adding habits, I first asked myself, what are the bad habits that I have? And I can try to get rid of these bad habits. And also the time that matters. So I'm gonna try not doing these bad habits for, let's say, another 15 days. And I'm gonna really take my calendar. If I'm really serious about my life, I'm gonna really take my calendar and like, okay, 1 day done, 2, 3, 4, 5, till 15 days, And I would just try to not do the bad habits. So why am I even saying this, all of this, right? Like, why, like, you should not add like more habits, but rather get rid of your bad habit. Let's say you have enrolled yourself in a race, right? In order to actually get from one point to from your current point to your goal, you need to know how to run, right? But if your leg is injured, doesn't matter how motivated you are, doesn't matter how badly you want it, or doesn't matter how much you try, but if you are kind of disabled, metaphorically speaking, you would never get there. It doesn't matter how motivated you are, it doesn't matter like how much, you just injure yourself more, right? So in order to like be even eligible to be in the race, you need to be at least somewhere in the level. So here you are, this is the lowest level, this is a normal level, and this is what you want to actually get to. So you're there. First get to the surface. First get to this level where you feel like, okay, now I'm eligible to run because I'm okay, my body's okay. Now I just have to put the hard work to get to finish the race, or get to number 1 or number 2, whatever number that you're looking for, or whatever the goal that you have, right? And so what I'm really trying to say is that in order to get your shit together, you need to not be paralyzed before. And this is where you are right now. Right now you're paralyzed. So tell me, how many of you, and I really would like to know this in comments, like how many of you every single day scroll Instagram or watch new movie, not every single day, but you're watching a lot of movies on Netflix or whatever other platform that you're using to watch things. So again, declutter yourself. You have too many habits. You do not need to add new habits. You need to just get rid of the bad habits. So what is the number one thing that I would do? You know, as your mom says, and most of the moms say, they're like, hey, you're on your phone all the time. That's the number one habit that you have to get rid of. And again, you know, do not overwhelm your brain by putting it like, oh, from now on, I'm just going to make sure that I'm not going to use phone anymore. That's not possible. You can't do that. Or I'm going to just have 1 hour or 2 hours of screen time from now onwards. That's impossible. You can't do that. You can't have that, right? Because you're, in your brain is not able to really formulate this because you are motivated. You're able to do it for 2 days, but then your brain cannot really figure out that, like, what's the deadline? Like, that's why when people have deadline, they work much better, right? So if you give yourself a deadline that, hey, for 15 days, I give myself a challenge, and you have to put down this on your calendar, that I give myself a challenge that I would make sure that my maximum average, you know, screen time is going to be 1 to 2 hours. So you do not take for like 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, 10 months, or forever. You just take those 15 days. So why do you have to do that? Is you do not know what to do because your brain is just overstimulated from what the information that you're getting, like, on every single day. If you do not get rid of that thing, you would not be even able to figure out what you want to do in your life. So on a daily basis, let's say through phone itself, you are seeing so many different coaches and you do not know which one to get into because you're getting loaded with so many information. So in the end, you're just getting the decision fatigue and you're actually not able to make any decision because you're overstimulated and you do not know what to do anymore because you're seeing thousands of different things. Like, should I do this? Okay, I'll try, and I'll look into it. Maybe it would not be for me because this and this and this factor. The other thing, and eventually you end up not doing anything. And what I would do personally is that I would really download applications which can have like a timer on Instagram so that, like, hey, you're just allowed to use it for, let's say, 30 minutes or things like that. And you know, you have to ask any of your friends that you have and ask them to put a code that they don't know. And your friend gets to put the code. And if it's a good friend, I'm 100% that they would do that. Ask your friend to put a code on your phone so that you are not able to use Instagram anymore. And I think even if, like, you feel, oh my God, I have to do that, you just don't know the code, you cannot enter. So you can call your phone and you have to tell your friend that, hey, doesn't matter how much I ask, do not tell me the code. And you have to tell it, like, right now, because eventually when your motivation subsides, you're going to be like, oh my God, I need it. So just tell them that when I come to you and I tell you that I need it, just tell me, no, you're not going to have it. If you're like, tell them, if you're a really, really good friend, you want the best of me, or like, do not share the password at all. And let me suffer. Now there's the next thing that we want to get into. Whosoever is drinking, are you like, you're having alcohol, like on a daily basis, you go out with your friends and you're just having alcohol? Please take this out of your life. Like, I used to drink, you know, I used to drink alcohol and next day I'll feel like shit and then I would not know what to do. And it would really take me at least 1 or 2 days to like get that out of my system and actually start working again. And that really affected me. And of course, because again, it comes all to your brain. Your brain is like, it feels foggy. You would never be able to perform. You would never be able to know like what's right and not for you. So get this out of your system. Remove alcohol. And it's not such a big of a deal. Like, for example, I made myself a pact in the beginning of this year. Like, if it comes to really important things, or to like my best friend's birthday, or like it's for 1 day, then only I'm going to do that. Otherwise, I'm not going to drink alcohol, you know? And even if I do that, I'd be like for like some like really special dinner and I would have just 1 glass of wine. And that's it. There's no other thing. And I tried this. First I said, hey, I'm going to do it whole year. I tried it for first 30 days and actually I felt amazing. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I can actually work better rather than being wasted and having alcohol. And again, it's very easy to say no, and you just don't want to say no because you try to run from your situation. Like, most of the people that drink alcohol is like, oh my God, I want to let loose, I want to let go of all the things, and this is your way to cope. Don't do that to yourself because you're just yourself over and over again with that alcohol. So This is the number 2 thing that you actually have to remove in your life. Number 3 is being around negative people. I hate that. I hate that. I swear to God. And this is like number 1 thing that you really have to understand, okay? I'm very passionate about this and you have to take it really, really seriously. If there's someone who's trying to mock you or even try to make jokes about your dreams and is like, hey, you're gonna be a loser, cut them out. Cut them out right away. The more that you are making jokes about your situation and you're sending memes to each other and trying to listen in and trying to cope, and he's sending you memes, this is how you're trying to cope with it. This is how you're trying to make a joke of your dreams. And I know, like, humor is fine, but when you're serious and when you really want to get yourself together, it's very, very important that you cut out the people from your life who do not believe in your dreams, who tell you, oh my God, or who laughs. If you laugh, you're the last person who's gonna have lunch with me, and trust me, I'm not gonna talk to you ever again. Maybe later, I would be okay. But if you are not respecting my dreams, that means you're not respecting me. And that's it. If you do not respect me, then it just doesn't make any sense for us to be friends. So any person, whatever that you say, I'm not saying that your parents like laughing, you cut them out in your life, but what I'm saying, they don't talk to them about your dreams at all, right? But if there are friends who are too negative, who you're hanging out with, who are taking you to the parties all the time and making jokes and laughing about the miserable life that you have, the time that you start joking around about your life and how miserable your life is and start laughing and, oh, how I'm depressed, this is when you not start taking yourself seriously. And when you don't take yourself seriously, this is the time that you actually lose. So again, the things that you can remove to actually get to a surface level, that would be number 3 for me. And this is an important one. Take those negative people out of you. I don't have time for you at all if you're gonna laugh at me or my dreams, or if you do not believe in my dreams. I'm gonna just cut out of you. Or if I'm trying to tell you something, you just laugh. Or if I'm trying to tell you, okay, I'm gonna do this and this, I'm like, yeah, sure. If you're saying that, cut it out. Like, man, you don't believe in me. And I really wish the best for you, but I don't think so that you're the right person for me. Because every good friend would be like, hell yeah, you're gonna do that. And I know that you do that. And I have had friends who like really believed in me. And they're like, yeah, we know that you're gonna do this. And then there are friends who like laughed at me. And I cut them off. So make sure that you do that. Do not be around negative people. Try to cut them off. Number 4, video games. Oh my God. The amount of people that are actually playing, and me myself, I was one of them, and I was crazy about video games, and I used to play them and used to waste my time there. See, the thing is that how your brain works is that your brain needs rewards, right? Your brain needs to feel that you're growing, that you are leveling up. And when you actually go and play a video game, you are virtually like leveling up. You're getting, oh, level 1, you've surpassed that, level 2, and it makes you feel good, and that's why you get addicted to them, and you keep on playing video games. And I used to be one of them, and I used to have this habit. This is literally the worst habit, because this would not let you actually get to your real goals that you have to achieve in life, the real levels that you have to actually achieve in life, to number 1, number 2, number 3, and you can actually set for yourself those levels and achieve. Now, what happens in real life that it takes time, but in video games, you know, it takes way less time, and you get better and you get better and you get addicted and you keep on doing that and you keep on doing that, and your brain kind of feeds onto those rewards that you were getting, and then you're like, okay, I'm there and I'm really getting good at it, and you keep on getting rewards, and you just confuse your brain, and then your brain does not actually want to work in real life. Your brain actually does not want to focus on real goals because it is getting the rewards from these video games. So I swear to God, guys, please remove video games. If you have a game on your phone, delete it right now. Like, delete it. Trust me. As soon as you set a goal, maybe it would not take as fast as a video game will take, but it would maybe take 10 days or 15 days. And in 15 days, you would have a certain other goal that you wrote for yourself achieved. And then your brain will feel this reward. Although it took a longer period of time, but your brain will actually feel this reward. And this is how you can actually get rid of this and get addicted to being successful. Because then you're actually rewarding yourself and you're growing in your life, right? And now that you're kind of have removed these things, it's time to actually add things in your life. So what I would do in order to add things in my life, after you decluttered yourself, I'd figure out what I actually want. Now, in this case, in your life, there's health, wealth, and relationship. These are like the main 3 pillars or 3 sectors. you want to kind of get better in order to have a fulfilled life, right? So now what I would do is, in order to figure out what I want, I would write down like 2 points each. I would write 2 points each that how I see myself, right? It could be in a health sector that, hey, this is how I see myself looking, right? More muscles, toned body, or more healthy, or in the specific, you know, the thing that you want to focus on in health. Write down 2 goals. 2 goals for wealth, right? So for example, it could be you making more money, or it could be you investing more money, whatever that your goal is that you want to achieve in like wealth. And then in relationship, that what kind of partner that you want, or you want to have a better relationship with your parent, or howsoever that you want your life to look like. Write down just 2 points. Like, you not need more than that. Just write 2 points for each sector. And as I say most of the time, just like laminate that thing and just kind of read that for yourself on a daily basis to remind you like why you're doing what you're doing. And as soon as you have figured out your, you know, what you want, then you can actually start planning how I'm going to get there. But you need to actually kind of know the destination in order to figure out the way to reach that destination, right? So you need to have destination, you need to have goal, and then you're like, okay, now I'm going to figure out step by step how I'm going to reach that goal. Now that you have decided, now the time is to build your schedule. Like building your schedule, and I can also make a specific video as to how you can build a schedule, but I just want you to understand why it is the way it is. Now that you have things in your life, right, now you want to just put it in practice. In order to put it in practice, you need to kind of build your schedule. Now in order to build a schedule, just look for specific days. For example, how your Sunday should look like. If let's say that you have a 9-to-5 job, how your Sundays should look like, or your weekends should look like, right? And whatever that Sundays that you would plan, or the Saturdays that you would plan, or Tuesdays, for example, that you plan, or Mondays that you plan, because those days will actually turn into weeks, and those weeks will actually turn into month, and that month is actually going to turn into year, and that year is going to actually turn into years, and that will be your life. So you need a schedule. You need to build a schedule. Figure out how you can manage your schedule, and you really have to put it out like in your calendar so that it kind of sends you a reminder every single time, like, hey, this is your time to do this is your time to do this. And it's okay to have your life like this for a time being, especially when you're trying to achieve something, right? And you'll also feel a sense of control that you have over the day, and that sense of control will actually get you and your shit together, because you'll be like, okay, I know what I'm actually going to do in order to achieve this thing in my life, right? And I'm doing it, and I'm doing all these things in this order, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm achieving my goal, and I'm getting my tasks done on a daily basis, because I have a certain schedule that I have put out on a daily basis. So here on the screen, then you can actually see that how my days look like and how I actually divide it into the point of, let's say, health, to the point of wealth, and to the point of relationships. Now, step 7 is consistency over everything. Consistency is the key. Like, the thing is that it's not going to work out if you're just going to do it, like, let's say on your first day, and then you're like, oh my god, I don't really know what to do. You have to actually do it every single day the same thing. And that's how, like, I showed to you, like, on the calendars, like, every single day is the same thing over and over and over again, and it has to get boring. It has to get boring. So consistency is the key. So you have to do it. You have to make sure that, and even just to, as soon as you'd achieve something, you would have more and more confidence in yourself that I can actually do it. I can remove all the bad habits. Like, for example, I said in the beginning of the video that, hey, I'm gonna stop playing video games. I'm gonna stop checking my phone all the freaking time. I'm gonna stop going out and get drunk, right? So if you do it consistently, you would actually help yourself get to whatever goals that you actually want to get to, right? But if you do it just one day, and it's the same with like posting a YouTube video, or let's say for 5 days focusing on, let's say for example, my students, right? 5 days they're actually doing role plays, they're actually showing up on the calls, and every single day they're working on this. And then after that, life happens, something happens, so something comes up in their life, and then they start just changing it, start getting into something else. They're not consistent. That's why they're not reaching the goals. But on the other hand, there are students who are just doing the same thing, and it's getting really boring, it's getting hard for them, it's getting really uncomfortable for them on a daily basis, every single day, and they're actually achieving the goals just for 30 days. They prep, they do a lot of role plays, they're coming on the call, they're asking questions, they're not afraid of this, but they're doing again the same thing every single day, and they're getting gigs from different coaches, and they're start to close. So again, consistency is one of the most important things. I'd say the last thing is of course, reflecting on your progress. I have like a sheet for myself, right? And in that sheet, I'm like, hey, if I achieve this, then this is the reward that I'm getting. So for example, if I achieve making $10,000, I'm gonna gift myself, like for example, at that point of time, I really love jet ski. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to do jet ski. If I achieve those, then I would reward myself with jet ski. And it could be anything, like whatever that you want to buy, but give yourself this reward system because your brain will actually pick on it. And because there's a reward coming, your brain would actually look forward to it and would work hard in order to achieve the goal. Now, as soon as you're seeing, you're reflecting on your progress itself and you're checking, okay, number one, I decluttered all the things and I have added a few other things in my life, right? That's a progress. I should have a reward. Now that reward could be anything, but you have to do it. You have to prep your brain like this. And it's very important because your brain has to feel that way. And it kind of also motivates your brain to do better. So just like when I said, like for example, in video games, there is a whole reward system, right? So for example, if you achieve level 1, you receive that many coins. Or if you achieve level 1, you're gonna receive different, I don't know, items, you know, from the game. And that's why your brain actually wants to play level 2. And it's the same, like when you're seeing yourself the progress, like let's say progress 1, that you wanted to actually do this and you're seeing it for, let's say, for example, 30 days. It does not have to be a year, or it does not have to be months. It just have to be 30 days. Let's just take 30 days. And you see that progress and you actually reward yourself because you've leveled up, right? And this is how you have to also program your brain so that you can actually get addicted to it and addicted to leveling up. Not in the video games, but actually in real life. So I think that if you actually add a few things that I just said on today's video, I promise you that you would get your shit together, no matter what, right? But you have to really take it seriously. You cannot be just be like, okay, this is another video that I've actually watched today, and I'm just gonna write it down and maybe I would not look at tomorrow. No. If you are seeing this video, then make sure that this is your last video that you're watching and you're decluttering your brain, removing all the things, becoming a normal person so you're ready for the race, and then adding right things in your life so that you have all the power, all the stamina to actually get into the race and eventually win it, right? So I hope that this video helps. If you guys have any other question or any other topics that you guys want me to make a video about, please comment below and I'd be looking forward. So take care of yourself. I hope this video helps. Ciao, ciao.